Hey guys, I'm going to be giving my thoughts on the new trailer that has recently come out for Godzilla X Kong: The New Empire. So, this movie looks, I have to say, it looks bad. And I'm a huge MonsterVerse fan. I I'm a big fan of basically the first three MonsterVerse films. So, the original Godzilla, which is that one came out in 2014. Kong Skull Island, which was I think 2017, and then King of the Monsters, which was 2019, I think. A big fan of those movies. If I had to rate those films, I'd probably say, man, it's tough. They're all really good films. At first, I wasn't like a huge fan of the original Godzilla from 2014. But then I watched it again recently, and I kind of had like a lot more respect for that film. And then it was actually directed by Gareth Edwards, who directed The Creator, which is one of my favorite films now. But anyway, I guess I hadn't really remembered that much of it, so I went back, rewatched it, really enjoyed it, and honestly, I kind of liked how a lot of the shots weren't super clear. Like, you have it's very dark and dreary, so you don't always see Godzilla and like his the scale of his stature basically, you know, in the city and things like that. The part at the airport when they're first showing like his feet and his legs, and then you kind of see how really big he is, was kind of like the first full um, shot that we got of Godzilla. So going back to watch that, I really appreciate the first Godzilla movie, and then Kong Skull Island. I actually did see that one in theaters, which I really liked. Kong Skull Island was great. It's kind of similar to 2005 Kong because their own Skull Island, they have to survive. It's kind of like that, but and I wouldn't even say it's better than Peter Jackson's version, but overall good film. I always like the survival aspect of the films, so that's something that's always like it's like when you're just on an island, you have to survive. You have limited resources, you have limited ammo, you don't know the terrain. You just kind of have to use your wits and survive and hopefully get off of the island. So I always like survival films, whether it's just like realistic survival or like sci-fi survival stuff. And then there is Godzilla King of the Monsters. Saw that one in theaters as well. Absolutely love it. The monster fights for that one are just like out of this world, like crazy. That's, to me, as a monster film, it was a step above each of the previous films. So if I had to rate the films, I would say my favorite is Godzilla King of the Monsters first, and then I say I like Kong Skull Island second, and then third I like Godzilla, and fourth Godzilla versus Kong, which wasn't really a good movie. It wasn't great. I did see that one in theaters. I saw all of them in theaters except the original one from 2014, and it just wasn't really. It wasn't all that great. The story is okay. I mean, again, these are giant monsters fighting each other. We don't really need a lot of story, but the things with the Hollow Earth that they were beginning to explore, um, I didn't really feel like they elaborated on that enough. And I know they're gonna do so in Godzilla X Kong, but the thing is, a lot of that was just like They got to the Hollow Earth, and Kong was, he kind of felt like it was a familiar place. He saw this huge den area where allegedly there was like a war between the Godzillas and the Kongs. But then Godzilla, it's just like crazy because he actually drills down into the hollow earth using atomic breath, which is like, I don't think that's very possible to use heat to just like tunnel through like hundreds of kilometers of like rock and mantle and concrete to get to the hollow earth. And I mean, come on, it's got to be somewhat realistic. I understand it's a monster film, but and then that crystal that they found down there, he sent the energy signal to the guys over at Apex so they could power Mechagodzilla, which didn't make any sense. But yeah, so Godzilla drills all the way down to the Hollow Earth, and they leave out, and then they fight in. I think they're in like Beijing or Shanghai or somewhere, and the action scenes were kind of cool there. But I thought the action scene where Mechagodzilla comes onto the scene and he's just throwing Godzilla around like a rag doll. Now that was pretty cool to see. The Mechagodzilla was pretty fierce, and it took obviously both of them to defeat him. So, if I'm talking about Godzilla versus Kong, I would say that is my least favorite. Then Godzilla X Kong just looks, man, I'm sorry, the CGI looks bad. I heard it's going to be like more comedic in tone. It's going to be more of like a joke type of film, like overly funny, kind of like Thor Dumb and Dumber that came out, where like everything was just one big joke and a clown show and everyone was a buffoon. I feel like it's going to be like that. So I'm really not excited about Godzilla X Kong. Let me know what you guys think about the trailer. Do you guys think it looks good? Are you excited for it? I'm not particularly excited for this one. I will probably just wait till it comes out on streaming, but let me know what you guys think about it.